from Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. What's going on? What's the update on the coronavirus scare? Is it still viable? We also have our segment hosts back from wherever they were on vacation or doing some seminars, etc., to let us know how to stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we have what's happening in our own Filipino community of Chicago. All the updates, what's going on, any events that are upcoming this year. All these are coming up and more after word from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
At Fox Valley Auto Group, we're dedicated to your safety on the road.
Innovations in technology are making cars safer than ever.
Look for vehicles with forward collision warning to alert you if you're following too closely.
Or seconds from a possible front-end collision.
Lane departure warnings can help you stay in your lane.
And blind spot monitors will help you see what you might otherwise miss.
But nothing is more important than focusing on driving and following the rules of the road. Sponsored by Fox Valley Auto Group.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte set to sign Monday an executive order declaring a state of public health emergency in the country. This after the health department confirmed the local transmission of COVID-19. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says Duterte had agreed to issue the declaration following the recommendation of the Philippine Health Department. As COVID-19's onslaught continues, an infectious diseases specialist called on the national government to expand testing centers outside of the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, or RITM, to facilitate more coronavirus tests.
When we look at patients with COVID-19, we also need accessible testing centers. And because of this red alert, probably the national government can now facilitate the functional or the function of the other subnational level hospitals to do the test instead of just RITM. And probably extend also to the private hospitals that they can also do the test so that everyone can do the test and everyone can do their own surveillance and detect who are those who really are infected so that we can get a clearer picture now how many of those are really infected and not infected.
Philippine Vice President Leni Robredo citing the need to provide an effective information campaign on the COVID-19 threat.
Mahalaga na yung tao informed kung ano nangyayari. Na naiintindihan nila kung anong implications sa meron ng local transmission at alam nila kung anong dapat gawin. Kasi nakaka-cause ng panic yung kakulangan sa pag-intindi. Sana hindi naman kasi yung underreporting lalo mo lang ina-expose sa more danger yung ating mga kababayan.
Senator Nancy Binay also calling on the Presidential Communications Operations Office to ramp up government's information drive on COVID-19. Binay urged government communication agencies to prioritize public health interest following the possibility of sustained infections. Binay underscores the importance of risk communication in the wake of so-called fake news and misinformation involving the health threat. Robredo also calls on the government to boost the capacity of smaller hospitals to help deal with a health emergency.
Yung mga smaller hospitals, yun talaga yung kailangan din natin na palakasin. Kasi kaya lang naman na kaya sobrang dami ng pasyente sa Bicol Medical Center kasi hindi maayos yung mga smaller hospitals.
House Deputy Minority Leader and Bayan Muna Representative Carlos Zarate also calling on the Health Department to be transparent in reporting COVID-19 cases. In a statement, Zarate says the agency should not prevent hospitals from reporting their COVID-19 cases as long as they are verified. Zarate warns the government against securing onerous loans to handle COVID-19 cases. Earlier, Finance Chief Carlos Dominguez III said Manila plans to tap the financing packages offered by multilateral lenders to bolster the country's measures against COVID-19.
People from nearby provinces working in Metro Manila will still be allowed to go to work despite the implementation of the community quarantine amid the COVID-19 outbreak. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says employees from nearby provinces such as Rizal, Bulacan, Cavite, and Laguna only have to show their IDs indicating their respective workplaces in Metro Manila when they go through designated checkpoints.
Papayagan yung mga nagtatrabaho na pumasok. Kasi provided lang na meron silang ID, mayroon silang magpapatunay na talagang ang work nila ay dito sa Manila.
Workers also have to follow precautionary measures such as hand sanitation and temperature checks when they pass through checkpoints. Rose de los Reyes, who lives in Rodriguez, Rizal, works as a security guard at a government office in Pasay City. On Friday, she decided to travel to Pasay City from Rodriguez and stay there until the Metro Manila community quarantine ends on April 14th.
Doon ako mag-i-stay. Kasi hindi naman kami pwedeng dahil hindi naman kami kasali sa sa excuses as a security guard. Kami, public service kasi kami. Kaya kailangan papasok kami kahit na may mga ganung issue.
But unlike De Los Reyes, 53-year-old Armando Tirambulo does not have a company or work ID. Tirambulo works as a part-time construction worker in Quezon City. He is also from Rizal Province.
Siyempre, alam niyo na pamilyado tayo, kailangan din yung ganun. Kaya siguro ang gagawin ngayon, pagdating ko, pag-usapan namin kung ano talaga.
At checkpoints, private vehicles will be inspected to see if these are allowed to go in or out of Metro Manila. For public utility vehicles, policemen will have to check each passenger if he or she too will be allowed entry to NCR. Jeepney driver Onario Borromeo, meanwhile, expressed concern at the heavy traffic the checkpoints will cause.
Agahan po siguro nila yung pagpasok at dalhin yung mga dapat dalhin mga proper ID para mas mabilis ang proseso pagdating doon sa pag-i-inspeksyon po doon sa mga checkpoint.
Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III says government is ready to assist workers who will be laid off due to the community quarantine through the Emergency Employment Program.
Mawawala na, sa tourism, yung mga waiters, yung mga bellboys, ganun, mawawala ng trabaho yan. Dahil for 1 month, magpapawas yung hotel, magpapawas yung restaurant. Dito ngayon papasok ang dole. Dito kami papasok. Kayong mga nawalan ng trabaho, kagaya ng ginawa namin noon sa Boracay, malala mo, 6 months, 19,000 na workers ng mga hotel, kami ang nag-employ sa kanila.
Bello also advises employers to adopt telecommuting and flexible working hours for their employees to fight the possible spread of COVID-19.
The Philippines invoked the July 2016 decision of the Arbitral Court in rejecting China's position regarding Malaysia's submission to the Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf that provided information on the limits of its continental shelf beyond 200 nautical miles from the baselines, from which the breadth of the territorial sea is measured in the South China Sea. In a note verbal dated March 6 and issued by the Permanent Mission of the Philippines to the United Nations, the Philippines reiterated China's position is inconsistent with international law, invoking the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and that the ruling had conclusively settled the issue of historic rights and maritime entitlements in the South China Sea that exceed the geographic and substantive limits of maritime entitlements under UNCLOS as without lawful effect. The Philippines stressed it has sovereignty and jurisdiction over the Kalayaan Island Group and Bajo de Masinloc. In a separate note verbal, the Philippines said Malaysia's submission covers features within the Kalayaan Island Group, over which the Republic of the Philippines has sovereignty, and that the Philippines in the future intends to make a submission. It added, Malaysia's submission is projected from portions of North Borneo, over which the Republic of the Philippines has never relinquished its sovereignty. Malaysia in December 2019 had said it was a partial submission regarding the remaining portion of the continental shelf of Malaysia beyond 200 nautical miles in the northern part of the South China Sea. Malaysia and Vietnam in 2009 had made a joint submission for a portion of the two states' continental shelf in the southern part of the sea. Maritime law expert J. Batong Bakal describes the Philippine note verbal on China's response as legally significant. He points out the Philippines invoked the arbitration award in a proper and relevant venue against China's persistent illegal intention of an extended continental shelf claim to the seabed around the Spratly Islands. Batong Bakal adds the note verbal shows how the award is properly and correctly used. On the note verbal on Malaysia's claim, Batong Bakal notes a tone that is not directly antagonistic as the previous protest filed by the Philippines in 2009, simply stating that the area claimed by Malaysia is also subject to a prospective Philippine claim. He believes this indicates that the door may be opening for coordination between the Philippines, Malaysia, and possibly Vietnam regarding the respective continental shelf claims in the South China Sea.
The Philippine House Committee on Legislative Franchises sets the ground rules for tackling the franchise renewal of media giant ABS-CBN. Additional rules were laid down for proper decorum and a more orderly proceeding. It also includes limits on media coverage as well as limiting the time for interpellation. Mindoro Occidental Representative Josephine Ramirez Sato, for her part, laid down the legal basis for the National Telecommunications Commission to keep ABS-CBN on air pending franchise renewal, citing jurisprudence and practice in the franchise renewals of other companies. The committee adopted Sato's motion that the letter Alvarez and House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano sent the NTC to keep ABS-CBN and its subsidiaries operational past the expiration date through the issuance of a provisional authority.
It is an honored and established practice that during the period that a bill on the renewal of franchise is pending and is being deliberated upon by the House of Representatives, which has the original and exclusive jurisdiction in the grant of franchises, the TV, radio station is allowed to continue its operations unhampered on grounds of equity, and taking into consideration the interest of the viewing and listening public, and of course the interest of the employees.
Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez tried to clarify this delegation of power to the NTC.
There has to be the standards, number one. I would like to amend number one, that there is to be a time period. You cannot delegate and say in the letter that until such time that Congress may approve the same. Because under the principle of delegation, there has to be standards. The first one, it should be time-bound. If the sponsor will accept, we have a resolution to adopt the Speaker's letter, but then we have to put the standards. Otherwise, it will be questioned.
The NTC reprised before Congressman its commitment to the Senate, citing the letters of the House leaders and the resolution passed by the Senate.
May I assure this committee that barring a gross violation of its franchise of the NTC rules and regulations, the NTC will follow the latest advice of the DOJ and let ABS-CBN continue operations based on equity, Your Honors. We are very comforted by the fact that both chambers of Congress are aligned with the DOJ's and NTC's thinking on the issue.
Would you issue an official provisional authority to ABS-CBN for them to operate? Or basta hayaan na lang sila?
Letter ulit ng Secretary of Justice, sabi po niya, yun pong to issue a provisional authority to these broadcasting companies.
May we request the National Telecommunications Commission to forward to this committee and the House of Representatives the provisional authority that they will be granting to the ABS-CBN and possible guidelines?
We will be in the process of putting that together, but actually it would be premature to do that right now because there is an existing provisional authority for right now, and there's an existing franchise. The life of the franchise is concurrent with the life of the provisional authority.
In a press conference after the meeting, Cayetano tried to clarify what the NTC said.
It was the polite way of NTC to say yes, sir. So I have no doubt that they will allow ABS to continue broadcasting, of course subject to the same conditions found in your existing franchise and to NTC regulation.
The Speaker also maintained there is no reason to close down ABS-CBN.
Innocent till proven guilty. So as far as we're concerned, wala pang violation ang ABS-CBN sa kanilang last franchise na 25 years. So there's no reason in this world why the NTC or any other agency of government should shut them down or prohibit them from broadcasting while their franchise is pending before the committee.
The next hearing on the franchise bills will be scheduled either in May or August. Cayetano denied, saying the deliberations may drag till May 2022.
And we're back, starting with our executive producer, Veronica Layton, with her special guest here at the studio, followed by her Irogski, our own director, Mr. Joe Mauricio, with his special guest. We have Luella Maningas Cabalona going around, very busy in our own community of Chicago. And we have Melody Rabordizon with more updates on all the things that can affect us health-wise. Plus, we have a special public announcement. Please make sure to watch or read or listen to all our announcements, either here on TV, Cprtv, on our newspaper, via Times News Magazine, and through email and Facebook, where we would like to update you on what's going on. Especially, there's a notice from the Catholic Church. No more holding hands during the Our Father. No more using the holy water in the fonts. Please be aware of how you touch your neighbors and touching your face. Remember, wash your hands all the time, 20 seconds, 2 happy birthdays. Just a public announcement to be careful, be mindful, and be aware that any kind of disease can easily be spread without proper sanitation. So wash your hands. So now back to our studio, and we'll be back after word from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very good-looking, teeny-weeny kid as my guest today. And you got to remember the face. Good-looking, very smart, a wizard in chess. His name is Scott Escalera, the newest champion of K3 City Chess Championship, right? Did I say it right? Okay, welcome to our show, Scott Escalera. Say hi to our viewing audience.
Hi, everyone.
All right, you're here today because you're going to be talking about your championship win in chess. Wow, you're so young to be a champion. How old are you? Tell our audience how old you are.
I am 7 years old.
And what school you go to?
I go to Holmes Elementary School.
All right. And your parents' names? Your parents, mom and dad, are here today. So we have to acknowledge mom and dad.
My dad's name is Ren Escalera, and my mom's name is Maria Escalera.
Maria Escalera. And you have a baby sister, right?
No, it's our baby brother.
Oh, baby brother. All right. What's the name?
Quinn.
Quinn. It's going to be another champion in the family. I'm sure you're going to teach Quinn how to play chess?
Of course I'm going to
Ooh,
teach Quinn.
I know that. Who taught you how to play chess?
My dad.
How old were you when he taught you? When you were still a baby? You started playing with chess
when I was 2, and then I started playing rated games when I was 5.
Wow. When you went to school, you started joining all the all the games, all the championship games, right?
Yeah.
And you've been winning. Is it?
Yeah.
How many awards and trophies do you have so far?
I have 150 and something trophies. I have 40 medals and I don't know how many ribbons, but I won some cash. Like about $300.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That means you've been playing chess for many hours and for several years now?
Yeah.
Then doesn't it bore you? Instead of playing other games like Legos and playing with trucks, does it bore you, or it really you're really into it? It really excites you.
I think it really excites me.
It really excites you. All right, Scott. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a police officer because I want to save everyone and from bad guys.
He wants to be a police officer because he wants to save everyone from bad guys. All right. Very good. Do you see yourself still playing chess even when you become a police officer?
Yes.
All right. So you enjoy chess so much, but do you also enjoy your school subjects? Now you're on what grade now?
I'm almost second grade, so I'm first grade. I'm almost second grade.
Almost second grade. Okay. So do you enjoy school?
Of course I do enjoy school.
Okay. What is your favorite subject?
My favorite subject in school is gym, so I can exercise and do gymnastics or something.
You also have gymnastics in school?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're a very active kid. You enjoy physical activities. How about reading and math?
They're
You
my
okay?
favorite subject too.
I think you're a very smart kid for you to be playing chess because chess is some kind of a mental calisthenics game, right?
Yeah.
You have to think before you move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you must be a thinker. Maybe you're going to be a scientist instead of a police officer. I think so, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, your dad was your mentor or your teacher in playing chess.
He
right?
was.
He was. He still teaches you, right?
Yeah.
Or you play with him now?
I do play with him.
You play with him. Does he sometimes, does he lose in your games? You're always the winner?
Yep. I'm always the winner.
You're always the winner now. Really? Oh, he's not here. Oh, there he is. He's always the winner now. Wow, that's good. He's just telling the truth, maybe. But your dad is also your playmate, in a way. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can tell our audience. Just look on TV at the TV camera. Maybe you can tell them what you're doing as a young kid to win the chess championship. What is your secret? You have a secret, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Tell the people out there.
My secret is to focus and calculate and enjoy the game and have fun.
All right, that's it. Simple. Enjoy the game and have fun. Yes, I think so. If you're going to be playing a game, you should have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you teach other kids how to play chess? Or you just have opponents every time you see kids?
I just have opponents every fight.
Well, just opponents. Okay. But are you willing to teach other kids how to play chess?
Yes.
Are you willing to? Okay. All right, very good. So, just like your dad, you're going to be a mentor. You're going to be a mentor to other kids. And very good, very good. What else? Well, do you want to say thank you to some people out there for your championship? Oh, we have to show people. Okay. This is Scott with his trophy, chess trophy, and the Bata corner of Via Times February issue. Right?
Yeah.
Close up. It's close up. That's Scott Escalera of Oak Park, Illinois. Son of, what's the name of your dad? Ren? So, yeah.
Ren Escalera.
Ren Escalera. And your mom's name?
Maria.
And Maria Escalera of Oak Park, Illinois. Congratulations. Congratulations for such a smart kid. Do you speak Tagalog? You're Filipino. You're 100% Filipino. Do you speak Filipino language? Can you say a word or two to say goodbye to our viewing audience?
I don't know.
Oh, you should. Your dad and mom should teach you how to speak Tagalog. Okay. Say the goodbye in Filipino language is paalam. Paalam. Say paalam.
Paalam.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for gracing our show, Scott. I want to be your friend. We're friends. You can teach me how to play chess.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you for gracing our show. Did you enjoy it?
Of course I did enjoy it.
All right. Of course he did enjoy it. Come here, come here. All right. Paalam. Okay.
Paalam.
Paalam. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat. Say, maraming salamat.
Salamat.
All right. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica at ito po si Scott Escalera, yung ating bagong champion, batang champion sa chess. What's that? K3 City. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Objective Leaders portion of the show, and I'm Joe Mauricio. This afternoon, I have one very, very pleasant surprise for you guys. I want to introduce Mr. Attorney Arthur D. Sutton.
Sutton. That's right.
Sutton, running for the Cook County Judicial Circuit this coming election, which is March 17. Remember, March 17, and you are gonna punch 198. Okay, what makes you different from other candidates? There are at least 5 or 6 candidates running for the same position, right?
That's right. I'm running for the Mary Ann Mason vacancy. And what makes me different than the other candidates? The compassion, the integrity, the patience, and the fairness and treatment for all people. I don't see enough in the 26 years I've been practicing law and as a criminal defense and civil defense attorney. I haven't seen enough compassion, patience, integrity, and fairness to all the people, and that's what separates me from them.
Well, how many? I guess about 5 or 6 people running.
It's a total of 6 people with me.
Oh, 6 people.
Yes.
And who is the front runner as you perceive it?
I perceive me as being the front runner.
And I have one big surprise for you. Since you have 2 states legal experience, right? You went to school in Minnesota, worked in Minnesota.
Yes.
And then moved to Illinois, finish your schooling here in Illinois.
Yeah, well actually, I went to Aurora University, which is in Aurora, Illinois. I got my Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice there, and also pursued a master's degree in public administration at Governor State University, which is also in Illinois. Then I went to St. Paul, Minnesota, and got my Juris Doctor's degree.
Oh,
Yes.
that's where you get your doctorate degree.
Yes.
Well, compared to the other 5 people, your credential is very, very impressive.
Well, I've also worked inside the penitentiary, the prison, also in Joliet and Stateville. I worked as a correctional counselor inside. And then I was a parole agent on the streets of Chicago for many, many years. And then I was the warrant officer with the state's attorney's office and the Prisoner Review Board. I was the person that gave the hearings to the parole violators. So that kind of experience gives me a heads up on the other candidates. Plus, I was the administrative law judge for DCFS.
Well, you're not only you're an attorney, not only you're a judge, but you are also a musician.
That's right.
A coach.
Yes.
A singer.
Yes.
And maybe one of these days, you're a gospel singer mostly.
That's right.
And you belong to the Moody Bible?
I don't belong there, but I attend and we fellowship together sometimes, My group, I belong to the Acme Baptist Church.
Acme.
On the south side of Chicago.
Madison. Is it Madison?
No, not in Madison. It's actually in Chicago.
Chicago.
Where I serve as a deacon there. And yeah.
The reason why I took a liking on this judge is because I went to a university in the South, University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And we passed his hometown of Yazoo, Mississippi.
That's right.
Going to the Delta.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
That's right.
And that thing. And a lot of brothers living in the Yazoo area.
Yes.
And that's what my liking to you, because I was also, but that's not what we are talking about. I was also a victim.
Yes.
Okay. So how could you, speaking of a victim, what can you do as a second chance candidate to other minority?
Well, Joe, here's what I stand for. Because of my humble background, I'm the youngest of 10, the first generation college student, okay? I grew up in the Robert Taylor projects.
Yes.
In Chicago. Now, the reason why I feel a second chance, because coming up, you get so influenced, young people get influenced by their peers to get involved in things where they normally wouldn't be involved in it, and they end up getting charged just like everyone else. And so I think that under certain facts and circumstances, that especially our youth should have a second chance at rehabilitating themselves. In other words, I would develop programs with faith-based organizations, churches and faith-based organizations in the community to develop programs where I can refer them to so they can find out why they did their thing that they did and how did they get involved in it. Because a lot of times it's not their fault. Peer pressure.
Right. Peer pressure.
Yes.
Yes, and I agree with that. And I'm thinking, with the legalization of marijuana, how many people are still in jail because of marijuana?
Well, they have released over 100 just recently. Exactly how many are in jail now, there's much less than there were. Because a lot of people was in jail for just small amounts, what I call users amounts. One stick of marijuana, or the police will pull them over and they see a little bit on the floor, and they would arrest them and put them in jail for that. And they wouldn't have the bond money to even bail out. And that's how they end up being sitting up in the county jail for so long for just little amounts of marijuana. So Kim Fox, and I would say that about her, she did a good job with that.
And is that thing still going on? I mean, they're still putting kids to jail for possession?
Well, they're not. It's not as bad as it was. Now they've changed the laws just a little bit. What they call users amounts.
Yes.
Like one stick of marijuana, or what they call in the hood they call it a joint. They won't. They'll dismiss that. They won't prosecute out for that.
That's good, but
Yeah.
what something else is replacing marijuana as a drug, opioid.
Yes.
Any kids going to jail for that?
Well, yes, it is a going epidemic that's going on with the opioids. It's a problem that has been growing in our communities. So, me as a judge, if I see those kind of cases come before me, instead of locking them up, Joe, I want to get them the help that they need.
Correct.
Get them the help. That way
You're truly a second chance, Judge.
Second chance.
And with that, second chance. But I agree with you that the kids, well, not only the kids, but there are some adults that made mistakes.
That's true.
And again, sometimes they're under the influence of something else, any
That's right.
substance, and they are out of control. And those are the people that deserve the second chance.
And I will say that, Joe, that sometimes that second chance doesn't necessarily apply to everything in every situation.
Correct.
Okay, some situations, it does not require a second chance, in my opinion. For instance, I'll give you for instance. I think that any time anyone beats or robs a senior, I don't think, that will deserve a second chance. I don't think that no senior should be afraid to walk on the street and to come home in the evenings and have to be worried about getting robbed and beat up and all that. So I have a certain passion for seniors.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I have some experience the other day. We would like to pay a bill to our, pay the credit card bills. And my God, the people on the other side of the phone are gonna ask you for a lot of questions regarding your identity. But I think as a senior, I'm a little confused. I got senior moments sometimes, and when they ask me for my passwords, how do I know right now? I think it's somebody like you could help the seniors especially working with the banks, to be more senior friendly.
Yes.
And it's up to you to help us seniors,
Yeah.
the old people of Chicago.
When a case comes before me, I take in consideration. So when I say the second chance, it's only to the ones who deserve it. So it's on a facts, case by case basis.
Mhm. Okay, my producer is giving me the signal that time is up. We got 15 minutes, and but before I go, I would like to say this: that Via Times and Cprtv are endorsing the candidate, Democratic candidate Arthur Hutton.
Hutton.
We are endorsing you. So people who are watching this, you know, the blacks, the Latino, the Asians, this is the guy for that position.
Yes.
Judge Arthur Sutton.
That's correct.
198.
198. Make certain when you go to the polls, either on March 17th or if you're an early voter on March the 2nd, make sure you punch
198.
Don't make a mistake. Punch
198. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Judge.
for having me.
Again, this is Joe Mauricio saying, I hope you enjoyed my interview with the judge. And don't forget, 198 on March 17. 198. Okay? 198.
That's right.
For Judge Sutton.
Arthur D. Sutton.
Okay, ready guys? Introducing our new Energy Star certified washer and dryer. Thanks to rebates from ComEd.
Yay! We love rebates! Ay, Daniel, we are famous.
Get used to it. When you use less water and electricity, people notice.
I can get used to that.
So can I.
Take it easy.
Get rebates from ComEd on select Energy Star certified appliances and find even more savings with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. ComEd, powering lives.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV News. This is your host, Luella Cavallona. For our headlines, by 2030, global warming alone could push Chicago to generate 12% more electricity per person each month of the summer. If the city generated any less electricity, it would be risking a power shortage that may require drastic measures to avoid rolling blackouts, according to projections from a model designed by Purdue University researchers. The estimated increase is larger than previous projections because it takes into account how consumers use electricity and water at the same time. The model also considers a wider range of climate features that affect this mixed use, such as humidity and wind speed, making predictions more accurate. Consumers use both electricity and water when running a dishwasher, heating water, or landscaping. Cities also use water to generate electricity and electricity to treat and distribute water. For a windy city like Chicago, wind speed matters when estimating electricity and water use. Temperature might play a larger role in the Southwest, though, where droughts occur. When most people think about dangerous spring weather, tornadoes, thunderstorms, and flooding usually come to mind. In Illinois, roughly 20% of tornadoes occur at night. For a number of reasons, tornadoes that occur at night are twice as likely to result in fatalities. This is why the Illinois Emergency Management Agency and National Weather Service is underscoring the importance of having more than one way to receive emergency alerts and notifications during Severe Weather Preparedness Month. Building a culture of preparedness is how to increase disaster readiness in our everyday lives, said Director Alicia Tate Nadeau. Mother Nature does not discriminate when it comes to severe weather. Severe Weather Preparedness Month serves as an opportunity to remind the public to identify the hazards that exist in their community and put plans in place to protect your family for what may lie ahead. On March 31st, 2020, the U.S. Department of Commerce Chicago MBDA Export Center and the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council invites women to discover Africa at our second annual Global Women of Color Symposium. Attendees include Chicago's global business leaders, corporate pioneers, political giants, seasoned business women, and young trailblazers looking to take their business to the next level. We have partnered up with Global Tastemakers to host an event to assist women in conducting business in and with Africa and to develop local partnerships within the African diaspora. Event highlights include high-energy global master classes, delicious lunch, welcome cocktail, world-inspired music, and a global market featuring local, national, and global brands in food, fashion, wellness, beauty, technology, manufacturing, entertainment, travel, business, politics, innovation, and much, much more. The Illinois Department of Human Services this week announced the launch of a statewide public awareness campaign and website that provide go-to resources for health and safety information about legal cannabis use in Illinois. The website letstalkcannabisillinois.com includes key information about legal cannabis use along with resources regarding use. It provides health information for specific audiences, including pregnant and breastfeeding women, adults, parents, and teenagers. A statewide social, digital, and radio advertisement campaign will accompany the website. Downloadable fact sheets can be found on the site and can be shared by community partners or anyone interested in learning about safe and legal use. Bringing regulation and safety to a previously unsafe and illegal market was one of the most important things we wanted to accomplish when legalizing adult-use cannabis, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. He adds that our focus of the Let's Talk Cannabis Illinois campaign and website is to provide a trusted source for safety and health information where all residents can go to get their questions answered on safer cannabis use. And finally, a celebration of Chicago's cabaret scene with 46 cabaret events at 18 popular Chicagoland venues. Cabaret Week is a great way to experience the diversity of the growing cabaret community. Many of the artists have been performing in Chicago for decades, and others have come on the scene in recent years. The Chicago Cabaret Week lineup features a variety of music genres, including blues, jazz, burlesque, pop, comedy, Broadway, and American songbook. An art form born in Paris in the 1880s, cabaret came to the U.S. via Chicago in the early 20th century alongside vaudeville, music hall, and the new music called jazz. The word cabaret originally signified a small room. Now a vibrant arm of both theater and music, cabaret breaks the fourth wall to engage audiences in face-to-face performance. A blend of many art forms, cabaret can include elements of song, dance, recitation, drama, or comedy. Most of our Cabaret Week events feature one or two artists with an accompanist or small combo. What happens next depends on the dynamic between performer and audience in the moment. And that's this week's news and current events here in Chicago as well as around the USA. This is your host, Luella Cavalona, signing off for the Chicago Philippine Reports TV News.
Selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Hi folks, it's Melody Dizon again, your Health Matters host, and here to talk about our last segment, which is the coronavirus, giving you more information and more updated cases. So just so you know, I just heard that people thought that coronavirus is from somebody who wears the crown if they're doing some pageantry or something, and they think that they were talking negatively or bad about, you know, that kind of pageantry. But it's not, guys. We know it's a virus, right? It's not like a, you know, those, title holder people that go to and attend the pageantry. Anyway, that's a segue. So what is the situation now in the United States? How many cases do we have right now? So imported cases of coronavirus in travelers have been detected. We know that. In the U.S., person-to-person spread of coronavirus also has been reported among close contacts of returning travelers from Wuhan. On February 25th, which is a few days ago, CDC confirmed coronavirus in a person who reportedly did not even have a relevant travel history or any exposure to another known patient with coronavirus. So it means it's an unknown exposure. At this time, this virus is not currently spreading in the community in the United States. So we don't know where the patient had gotten it from. So what may happen, they said, looking in the future, what the CDC is saying, how are we going to look at this? How are we going to deal with this? Well, more cases, they said, are likely to be identified in the coming days, including more cases in the United States. It's also likely that person-to-person spread will continue to occur, and widespread transmission of coronavirus would translate into a large number of people needing medical care at the same time. So schools, child care centers, workplaces, and other places for mass gatherings may experience more absenteeism. So public health and healthcare systems may become overloaded with elevated rates of hospitalization and death. Other critical infrastructures such as law enforcement, emergency medical services, and transportation industry may also be affected. Healthcare providers and hospitals may be overwhelmed and burned out, not that they're not already, but it's an added one. At this time, however, there is no vaccine to protect against the virus and no medications approved yet to treat it. So it's a non-pharmaceutical intervention would be the most important response strategy. Although I saw in the stocks that one of the vaccination had already completed the phase 1. But you know, they have to go through a lot of phases for that. So what's the we're going to highlight the CDC's response to this. They had established an incident management system first week of January, and they activated the Emergency Operations Center. And it has also taken unprecedented steps with respects to travel in response to the growing public health threat posed by this new coronavirus. So effective February 2nd, the U.S. government suspended entry of foreign nationals who have been in China within the past 14 days. U.S. citizens, residents, and their immediate family members who have been in Hubei province and other parts of mainland China are allowed to enter the United States, but they are subject to health monitoring and possible quarantine for 14 days. And also, CDC has issued the following travel guidance, related to coronavirus. China is considered a level 3, so you have to avoid any plans or any travel that you have to go over there, because I think airlines are already suspending their flights going to that direction. This is updated February 22nd. Hong Kong now is level 1, which means that you want to practice usual precautions. That was issued February 19th. Iran, level 3, guys. It's level 3 now. So avoid non-essential travel. This was just noted February 28th, yesterday. Italy is another one, level 3. It's to avoid non-essential travel as well, updated yesterday. Japan is level 2. You want to practice enhanced precautions, and this was updated February 22nd. And South Korea is another level 3. So avoid non-essential travel to those areas. That was updated February 24th. They also recommend that all travelers reconsider cruise ship voyages into or within Asia at this time. I think there's a lot of business hurting, as I've heard, from the ships that are just stagnant. What are you going to do? You got to contain it. So how do you help fight the outbreak? We discussed it last week, to how to be mentally and emotionally challenging for all of us, that we are to at least guard and guide our thoughts to it and help other people learn to cope with it. The U.S. government has again taken unprecedented steps related to the health threats posed by the new coronavirus. Suspended entry, we talked about that, measures to detect the virus among those who are allowed entry in the United States, and also quarantining people, doing personal protective equipment exposure, prevention of people who are sick. And so you want to communicate public health officials what the stigma, how do you communicate that, avoiding the stigma. You want to maintain privacy and confidentiality for those seeking health care. You know, don't start telling people, oh my God, this person has this and that. You know, it's not going to help anybody. There's a timely communication of the risk or the lack of risk from association of products, people, and places. You want to raise awareness for coronavirus. You want to share accurate information. You want to speak out against any negative behaviors, including negative statements. You want to be cautious about the images that you share. Make sure they do not reinforce stereotypes. You want to engage with stigmatized groups in person and through social media, including news media and channel outlets. You want to share the need for social support for people who have returned from China or worried about friends or relatives in the affected region. So yes, folks, it's happening. I was just telling the people in the studio that I was at church Sunday and I was coughing and everybody started to look at me like I came from China. So it wasn't a pretty sight. They were like, oh, who is this lady? So, you know the facts. I think I've already given enough of that for the past couple of weeks. I hope we put it into practice and stay well, guys. We really want you to be well. You know, wash your hands often and stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
And now we've come to the segment where family, friends, and fans of Viatimes and Cprtv get to greet their favorite people. And we'd like to start with Veronica's sister, Belia Bacatan Duresa, who is in the Philippines, but who always monitors us through Facebook or Viatimes. Happy birthday, Belia! And there's your happy birthday call. And that's our show for today. On behalf of the staff and producers of the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, ako po si Maria Girly Pascual. Let's keep on hoping that 2020 won't turn out to be a virus-infested year. We still have hope, and with good sanitation and, of course, mindful of all the news bulletin regarding this, we should all be safe, happy, and beautiful. We'll see you back here next week.